Jonathan Caputo on the line to talk a little bit about Buena Pride Day and the scrimmage he's got coming up in the football team this year. So we're going to welcome him in right now. How you doing, Coach?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Tell us a little bit about this Buena Pride Day and how this all came about.
Yeah, I really came from a board member who's really trying to find a way to raise funds and kick off the school year the right way, and try to raise funds for the fields, and then to make this a better place each and every year.
Well, it seems like a perfect year to get this thing started. I mean, you guys, you won that big contest, getting the new football surface out there, and I was out there in the spring and when they were just putting it down, and it looked beautiful. How's it looking to fall here?
It's looking great. The field's in great shape. It's just a lot of positive feelings going forward into this next season for all the sports. Yeah,
and you guys are coming off a great year, 10-1. I think you surprised a lot of people in the Cal. What's the feeling going into this year? I mean, it's got to be you're not going to sneak up on anybody anymore this year.
No, we know we have a target on our back, but there's a lot worse positions to be in. We have a lot of kids coming back, and we're excited for this year. We have a group of kids that have got a lot of experience from last year's season and in a lot of tough situations. So we're just trying to prepare each day, and hopefully today will be a healthy one for us.
And who you taking on today in a scrimmage?
We have Sterling.
Oh, okay.
The Group 2 team, yep.
And is this your first scrimmage?
This is our first scrimmage, correct.
Now, what are you looking for out of a first scrimmage? You guys have been in pads here for about 2 weeks. And go ahead.
Yeah, our first and number one priority is to be healthy. We don't being a small Group 2 school. We don't have 30 kids that we can run in and out. Last year we pretty much ran in with on offense and defense about 15 total kids playing at the varsity level. So our number one priority is to get out healthy, get some things on film that we can teach and try to improve on.
And how's the squad looking this year? I mean, what was the focus in the offseason? You're coming off, like we said, a 10-1 season. I got to believe these guys are hungry for more now. You came off that year 2 years ago, 5-5, and really jumped onto the scene last year, going undefeated in the regular season. Is there a different focus this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty hungry. Like you said, we were 10-1, but the last time we were on the field together, it was a loss, and a lopsided loss to Hatfield in the semifinals. So, obviously, I think that gave us a sour taste in our mouth, and I think it's helped motivate them in the off season. And they know this is their chance to have a nice positive season and give a chance to do well in the Group 2 playoffs.
We're talking with Jonathan Caputo here, head football coach over at Buena High School. Coach, when you come into a season like this where you've coming off a really good year, I know a lot of teams like to build for these 2 and 3 year stretches where everything's really coming together. You're kind of seeing that with Oakcrest a little bit. How cool is that to be in the midst of something like this where you have everybody believing, you have everybody fired up, and it's got to be a great way to go into the season?
Yeah, it's excited, but with that, there's a lot of little things you worry about as a coach to make sure there's not overconfidence and that you're always trying to improve. I mean, I've been coaching for 20 years, and I'm still trying to improve as a coach. So these players are kind of keep focusing on that, and the belief factor is great. I mean, that's a hard thing to overcome. You see it in high school games all the time. So that's definitely going to give us that little positive edge to help us be successful.
In this day and age when there's so much technology and so much is driven with the online stuff, have you guys kind of embraced that a little bit? I know a lot of these kids, they're using the Huddle app and all that kind of stuff to not only watch film, but get different angles on things. How much do you incorporate the new technology into, which is essentially an old school game of football?
Yeah, it's a daily event for us. We film practices, coaches watch practices. Some of those things that you see go wrong on Friday nights, you were doing wrong all week in practice because you couldn't see it. So we try to keep the tempo going in practice. By doing that, we can't see everything, so we watch it on Huddle, and we can see every little step. Keep it in slow motion. We watch film with the kids every day. In some form or capacity, whether it's by groupings or by defense or offense. So you just can't. If you're not using the film, then it's a disservice to the kids. So that really has helped us the last couple of years to really focus on improvement.
I think the neat thing is the coaches can kind of track how much film a kid is watching with these new apps and everything. That's got to be a great thing for a coach to say. A kid's obviously going to say, "Hey, coach, I watched 3 hours of film last night," and you could be like, "No, you didn't. You watched 15 minutes."
But that to us isn't that important. The important thing is that they're with a coach, because you try to train the kids how to watch the film, but ultimately they end up watching the play and not what they need to focus on themselves. So getting coach time with film is the most important thing for us.
What's the biggest focus on the preseason? A lot of fans, a lot of parents. We don't really see the preseason. We see the first Friday night game. How much work does go into this preseason? I know in this day and age, you're kind of starting from the day after your final game the year before. But how much does the intensity ramp up once you get to around August 10th or so?
Yeah, I mean, we especially when you have the chance of having a positive, even no matter what, the kids are usually excited about it. I mean, this is the greatest sport, I don't know, and the greatest level, I believe, high school. There's nothing like high school football. So they're playing a game that if you can't get ramped up for, then there's something wrong with you. But I just think a lot goes into keeping you motivated and keeping the enthusiasm as you think about those Friday nights, because there's nothing better when those lights go on. So each and every rep you take during practice or every rep you take in the weight room, you should be focused on those lights going on and everybody there to watch you.
We're talking with Jonathan Caputo here, head football coach at Buena Regional High School. Coach, you're 20 years into your high school coaching career here. First game, and any kind of jitters or butterflies that still go on for you?
Oh, yeah, always the first game, because, you've only been, even if you have an experienced group, that first game is always an interesting one. There's going to be things that go wrong. There's going to be kids that physically, are going to break down, and a lot of weird, different adjustments you have to make in that first game. You try to prepare as best as possible for everything that can go wrong, but, there's always some twists and turns in that first game. So there's anxiety, but there's, it's not the first rodeo, like you said. So we try to stay calm and then help them focus on those little things.
Also, a little bit of an interesting twist this year, opening nights on September 11th. Do you guys have anything planned? I don't know if you're home or away, but in terms of remembering that day from 14 years ago, and what are some of your memories from that day?
Yeah, well, actually, it's pretty significant for me too, because it's my birthday.
Oh,
so it's a good day and a bad day all in the same point. But we try to get the kids to understand the freedom that they have to play football, and that people die for it, and that we have that the luxury to go out there because of people willing to sacrifice, and that your freedom can be taken away, and there's so many different things that go on in the world that we don't get to see, but we get to go play football. So just to appreciate that and to know that they're blessed to have those opportunities.
And you guys are going to be honoring some of the veterans prior to today's scrimmage, correct?
Correct. Yes.
And what's going to be involved with that?
Yeah, they're going to make an announcement for some local gentlemen that have served, and like I said, it's something we talked about to the kids, that it's really an honor, so we want to make sure that we take the time and pause and give them the appreciation. You work long hours and put in all this time, but you always have to take that time to make sure you appreciate those who have served for our country.
Yeah, I was actually out about a week ago to Oakcrest High School, and they were out with the local Marines from the recruiting center going through one of those crazy workouts, and it was cool to see how much respect those high school kids had for these Marines, and afterwards they were very complimentary of the way the Marines handled themselves, and it's cool to see high school kids react that way.
Yeah, it is great, and it's all the stuff that those guys do is all about working together, and so there's a great comparison between being on a football team and being serving in the armed forces. So and there's always respect. There's plenty of kids that have come through our program that end up going in some part of the service. So I think football might prepare you well for that.
Talking with Jonathan Caputo, head football coach at Buena Regional High School here on the South Jersey Sports Report. Coach, real quick, give me some of your thoughts on the inaugural Buena Pride Day and what this day is going to be like for you. I guess some of you guys will be hanging out after the scrimmage and kind of seeing what's going on, right?
Yeah, it's great. There's a bunch of, all the sports are here. There's a bunch of games going on with soccer, tennis, obviously the football game, and field hockey, and there's going to be all the other sports here, coaches just trying to get word out about our programs and to get excited about the year coming up. And there's different activities, fun activities for all kids to do. So, there's not 100 million things to do in Buena, especially at this time of year. So it's a great Saturday to come out here and support the programs. But also, it's just going to be a fun day.
You going to be involved with the home run derby?
I don't know. I haven't worked on my stroke lately, but I think I can catch one or two.
There you go. All right, Coach, we appreciate you joining us. I know you got to get rolling for get ready for the scrimmage at 10 o'clock. So thanks for hopping on board real quick with us.
My pleasure. Anytime.
All right, that was Jonathan Caputo, head coach over there at Buena Regional High School.